Welcome everyone to the September 25th edition of What's Happening in Crypto with the Crypto Lark, broadcasting to you from the misty mountains of New Zealand and bringing you all of the latest from the crypto world and beyond. Today's top stories. Vitalik Buterin proposes scaling solutions for Ethereum. The United Nations loves cryptocurrency. And the newest battle in Bitcoin mining hardware rages on. Turning to the markets first, though, the inevitable correction that we were expecting to see is, of course, happening after the days of solid green movement. But the good news is that almost all major cryptocurrencies are holding strong on their 7-day gains. Moving on to today's first big story. Vitalik Buterin, the possible cyborg, possible complete robot creator of Ethereum, has come out saying the following, and I quote, "We can actually scale asset transfer transactions on Ethereum by a huge amount without using layer 2s that introduce liveliness assumptions," example given, channels or plasma, by using ZK snarks to mass validate transactions. Okay, thanks for that, Vitalik. Now, what is not mentioned in this quote is that ZK snark technology allows for large batches of information to be packed into what are known as succinct proofs. Now, succinct proofs essentially remain the same size regardless of how much you pack into them. If you want an analogy, this is something like Lamborghini carpooling for Bitcoin millionaires. You can just keep putting moon boys into the Lambo, but the Lambo stays the same size. And then they can all get on the highway and use the carpool lane like everybody else. Anyway, now, look, this sounds great, and I am very enthusiastic about the possibility of seeing Ethereum scale. I know it's such a big topic of conversation right now, and to see it scale in such a fashion would be really, really interesting. Now, this combined with sharding could be very, very powerful. And then we can build on top of that solutions like Plasma and Raiden. And all of that built on top of a sharded and snarky Ethereum will be fantastic indeed. But you have to keep it real, considering how often we have seen delays. I would not recommend holding your breath on this one. Okay, moving on to our next story. This one is in California. The Fair Political Practices Commission has voted 3-1 to prohibit candidates running for state office from accepting Bitcoin as a form of political donation. I suppose the good old-fashioned suitcase of money in a dark alleyway is simply going to have to do for politicians at this time. No, okay, but seriously, I struggle to think of a worse way to spend your Bitcoin than giving it to a politician. Seriously, flushing your private keys down the toilet would probably be more fun and in the end, probably more useful than giving it to a politician. Now, it is worth noting that the commission has said that they will be open to further debate on the topic and, of course, analysis over the coming years. So even though this is temporarily closing the book may not be closed forever in California for Bitcoin donations. Binance's charity arm, headed up by Helen Hai, who has an incredibly impressive resume. She's the Goodwill Ambassador for the Industrialization in Africa. She also founded the Made in Africa initiative, and she is the lady behind getting the CEO of Binance to go on his little Africa tour this year. She wants to tackle the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals using blockchain and, of course, using it to bring transparency to charity and to help empower future generations via the Blockchain for Social Good Center. In a different but related story, interestingly, Celsius Network will be managing the Sustainable Development Goals Impact Fund. Now, that is very, very interesting. So obviously this is one of the things within the United Nations, but to be managing that fund, to put that over to a blockchain project is very, very interesting indeed. Now, the aim of this, of course, is to be delivering more precision and more efficiency to United Nations organizations in order to have a maximum impact for the people who need it the most. But, interestingly, they are not the only ones hoping to leverage blockchain technology to make the world essentially a warmer and fuzzier place, guys. Because over in France, the local division of UNICEF is saying, oui, s'il vous plaît, to cryptocurrencies. They will in fact be now accepting 9 different cryptocurrencies. On that list, we have Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Stellar, Litecoin, Monero, and Dash. All of those can be donated via UNICEF France's website. Of course, following the successful initiative of UNICEF Australia, which let people mine on their browser earlier this year. See, there are so many nice things happening in the world every day. And now let's talk about Alex Jones. Yes, he is in the news again. And look, before anyone goes and gets triggered by the mere mention of his name, I really need to underline that this is not an endorsement of him or his beliefs, but an interesting case study in the censorship of finance. So it seems that now PayPal has decided to end their business dealings and their business relationship, of course, with InfoWars, essentially meaning that it'll be much, much harder for Alex Jones to accept funds for all of his, colloidal silver and whatever else he sells on his website. Now, many of you might have cheered for his deplatforming on social media, and you may have even unsubscribed from my channel for mentioning censorship resistance and free speech rights and all these different things. And of course, for underlining the hypocrisy of deplatforming Alex Jones while the war machine and the supporting media grind on murdering people all over the world on a daily basis. But look, okay, no, I digress, guys. I digress. We're not going to go there. So look, this is different. This is censorship of finance. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if Alex Jones's bank accounts are next. And thus we come to the crux of this Alex Jones story. We have an unaccountable board of executives somewhere sitting in Silicon Valley, and they have just decided to wreck someone's e-commerce business with zero oversight, zero transparency. Again, maybe you think, but come on, Lark, it's Alex Jones. Nobody likes that guy. Okay, well, look, I don't agree. But we may have an incoming Bitcoin refugee. Because of this censorship of money, there's just one thing that cannot be shut down. No one can tell you no. No one can simply turn off your account with the push of a button. It's Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin, censorship-resistant money. And it is more powerful than most of us can realize sitting in our relative comfort. But when you need money that is censorship-resistant, you need Bitcoin. Moving on to our next story, Bitmain has announced the arrival of its 7-nanometer Bitcoin mining chip. Now, this is following up on Bitfury's announcement earlier in the week about their new chip just a few days ago. The chips by Bitmain are already under production, and they are slated to be added into their next generation of Bitcoin mining ASICs. Now, not to be outdone by Bitmain, eBang. Yes, eBang. Okay, no, seriously. Who the heck thought of this name eBang when they decided to name their company? This sounds like a porn site. Just imagine trying to explain your credit card receipt to your girlfriend. $3,000 on eBang? What is this? Anyway, eBang is releasing 3 new models of Bitcoin mining ASICs. They're using a 10-nanometer chip and claiming to be massively efficient. In short, laying down the gauntlet to Bitmain and saying, game on, dudes. This, of course, challenging Bitmain's current supremacy of the markets. They are continuing to corner the ASIC market and the Bitcoin mining market overall with a 70% total market share. And finally, in entertainment news, a new film about everyone's favorite technology, blockchain, it's blockchain, guys, is being released. It's called Trust Machine, the story of blockchain. Now, this film is promising to be everything you wanted to know about blockchain and cryptocurrencies and so much more. That's a big promise. I want to know a lot of things, especially in the more category. Now, this film is being launched actually using Singular DTV and even has Joe Lubin as a co-producer. There will be a link down below to the trailer if you want to go ahead and watch it. It's about a minute. I, for one, am definitely excited to go out and check this film out when it comes to a cinema near me. What about you, though? Will you go out and see Trust Machine when it comes to a cinema near you? Thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think about any of the stories down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified when I upload a new video. Join the conversation over on Twitter. Long live the blockchain. Peace out till next time.